Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Brake Time. My name is Ken Taylor. I'm the Key Account Manager at Master Power Brakes, located here in Mooresville, North Carolina. Today I'm joined by Tim Walker, the owner of this beautiful 1969 Dodge Daytona Charger. And we are super excited to be hanging out here in the shop of one of our great business partners, Hotchkiss Sport Suspension. Tim, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. If you would take a second to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you built this car.
Okay, well, it was basically a 35-year dream, and started out in Miami, and I first met Bobby in February 16th of 1972. Bobby and I spent so many good years together. We've been friends for a long time, and he was just such a terrific friend all through the years. So we started out building his Studebaker truck. Y'all were helpful in that. And then Judy Allison and I had discussed building this first. I said, that's a done deal. Well, the bad part is that she went in for an operation and she passed away. So Bobby and I drove down to Hueytown, Alabama, just him and I. I just started piecing together and trying to get up sponsors. The fantastic thing about this is really nobody said no. Everybody was on board, and people I had met around here, like you all were instrumental. You all made a special brake system for this car. I'm forever in your debt, because it was just the interest that was applied to it, the professionalism, second to none. And so I learned a lot and felt really good about the build. I built a few race cars in my life. This one was the hardest one.
I'm sure, yeah.
This one, when people say, well, I'm going to build a Daytona, it's not easy.
And the great thing is, this isn't a street spec Daytona. This
No.
is a NASCAR-spec Daytona,
Right.
With a NASCAR Hemi in it.
With the Ray Nichols blueprints and everything, just like back in the day. And folks, I did not want to make a hidden headlight deal. I wanted it just the way Bobby had built it. And I was going to be tickled to death to get it in one magazine. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's in 12 all over the world.
That's fantastic.
And it just blew me away.
These cars were so revolutionary when they came out. Why is this car special in NASCAR history?
Well, there's the other thing I was going to mention, because in 1970, this was the first car. Bobby was an innovator, okay, with the power steering, with the front steer, the steering in front of the K-frame, okay? This one was the first one to have disc brakes all the way around.
Oh, wow.
And the funny story is, it was up on jacks at Atlanta, okay? And Hurst Earhart was working, and he was testing with Hurst Earhart. So Richard Petty walked by and saw it up on jacks, and he said, hey, what's the matter, Bobby? You can't stop the car? Bobby won the race. Following week, Richard Petty had disc brakes all the way around. Yep. Same thing happened with the power steering. What's the matter, Bobby? You can't turn the wheel? And Bobby won the race. Following week, Richard Petty had power steering. And I want to thank Richard Petty so much. He's such a nice guy. And Bobby really looked up to him a lot. Now, they battled, and I've been at races where they battled, and Darlington. They both came across the line with wheels up off the ground.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Battling. So, but it really made this time special.
Well, now that the car's built and it's all together, what do you want to do with it? What's gonna be the life of this car?
The life of this car will be, I plan to have in my family. I've got a son that's doing everything right, unlike his dad. But I really don't have any plans on selling it. And one of the things that they had talked about, one of the things that had me going on this build, because they had talked about a movie, the Bobby Allison story, and this would be the featured car.
Oh, cool.
Okay, and with that, hopefully it happens, you know. So, and that's all I can say about that for right now. But we'll see what the near future brings.
Well, again, it's a wonderful car. We really enjoyed talking to you about it today.
No problem.
And again, looking forward to seeing you out. Maybe I'll get a ride in it one of these days, since now we've got some room, so that's good.
Yep.
So
I'll give you a ride in it.
that sounds good.
Bring your hearing deals in.
Oh yeah. Well, Tim, thanks again for joining
Thank
us
you.
today, and thank you all for tuning in for this episode of Break Time.
And
We'll
thank
see
you,
again.
Master Power Brakes.